Do you see, what you're doing, do you see that as any conflict of interest with your job as chancellor?
No, I don't.
Joe Gow and his wife appear in videos on porn websites using the name Sexy Happy Couple. The two also have a YouTube channel called Sexy Healthy Cooking, where they cook meals with adult film actors. Gow says he didn't know the Board of Regents was reviewing his employment status during yesterday's meeting.
It was quite shocking last night to get an email that said, you're no longer the chancellor of the university, your office is locked, and you got to call the chief of police to get your belongings out.
Gow sees his actions as acceptable for a chancellor and even considers them complementary to his role.
One could argue that a chancellor ought to be leading the effort to have free speech and free expression, and that's exactly what I'm doing.
To Gow, the decision to terminate him could be a violation of his First Amendment right, and he considers it hypocritical of the board.
The Regents have a policy that's called the Commitment to Academic Freedom and Freedom of Expression, and it's designed to not only protect but encourage people to explore controversial topics. And I think this sends a very troubling signal to everybody in the universities of Wisconsin system that, the Regents really aren't about free speech.
Legal expert and UW-Madison professor Howard Schwaber says the case is unique because of Gow's efforts to keep it separate from his job as chancellor.
The chancellor is quite right that the activity he's engaged in is First Amendment protected expression. The question becomes essentially, is there a legitimate basis for the proposition that if the public becomes aware of his activities, that alone is enough to disrupt his ability to be effective as chancellor? I think the answer might be yes.
Schwaber says if Gow was a faculty member, the case is entirely different. But because he's a chancellor, a role that's public-facing and serves at the will of the regents, the board could have a legitimate argument for his termination. Gow says he'll be considering his legal options in the coming days. In La Crosse, Allison Fergott, News 8 Now.
Now, of course, there are not many students on the UW La Crosse campus right now as they are on break, but the reactions from students News 8 Now has talked to in the meantime has been mixed. Some recognizing, in their opinion, that his behavior is unbecoming of a chancellor. On the other hand, there are petitions online to try and force the UW Board of Regents to rehire Gow as UWL's chancellor.